Hello again everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. We are back on Heartbreak Hill. It's been a little while since you've seen this map with two contestants today in a 1v1 Chronopolize versus GLaDOS. Chronopolize? Yep, something like that. Anyway, these players fairly even on OS in the mid 40s and this game actually only took place like 20 minutes before I recorded it. So it's a very new 1v1 that neither of them have had a chance to send me yet. So I beat them to it because I was like, ooh, that looks like an interesting game. So what have we got? So Chrono is playing Cortex today and his opponent GLaDOS is also Cortex. Both going bots. That's due to this cliff bit up here that looks like a cliff, but actually bots can pass fully over this, no problem at all. As we select the grunt there, you can see it's just going to march straight up, and pretty much all the kind of hills in here that look like they're really steep actually aren't whatsoever. Now, what we do also sometimes see is rather than going bots, you sometimes see rather than a bot open, Con will walk up here and build a factory here, vehicles. It's a useful tactic, but it does limit you somewhat because obviously you're going to push across, you're going to push from here. Now with tanks, you know, you're going to be able to fire down and stuff, but you're not really going to be able to engage from the hill. You're going to have to go around, which kind of limits you a bit. But to be fair, if you can block your opponent there, it's GG anyways. So, but no, both players going bots today. Which is fair enough. To be fair, going bots, meaning this con can go up here this way and get these and then go around this top. But neither player really pushing out with a commander yet. Chrono with two cons straight off the bat here. GLaDOS only just building his second constructor. GLaDOS has invested in a lot of grunts. And we can see them making their way across the map, hoping to pick something up here. Two grunts down for GLaDOS, trying to blueprint block here. But Chrono does lose his constructor. Now, there is a fourth constructor out in total here so far from Chrono. He is being extremely greedy. And now has got a res bot out as well to res that constructor. Chrono may be about to lose yet another one here as even more units from GLaDOS are coming in. Marder finally making it up on the hill to give some vision. Chrono does mop up that mess, but still a bit risky there actually. He doesn't really invest too much in defensive units. Now he is rezzing the units that were sent to him, which is going to help, which actually meant it's worked out quite favorably for him, to be honest with you. Once the constructor gets resurrected, which is right now. 3 real estate, you know. This is what I mean by units being out of path. Like these guys can just go over this hill, which you would think kind of looks like you can't, but no, you can't. This new con is idle though at the moment. Chrono has started expanding with his commander. A constructor is moving with him. The resurrected con now starting to make a move. Now, GLaDOS is doing a fairly decent job at applying pressure here, just trying to keep Chrono back. Hopefully, this means that with all of that, GLaDOS is able to expand quicker. At the moment, he is behind on metal a second. He has only 1 con down here expanding and 2 along the top, which if he's able to block off this center, that's a good amount of metal. But interestingly enough, his pathing is going towards the middle rather than this high quantity of metal points up here. Mostly because he's trying to block off his like surface area of attack, right? If he takes this, he has to block from here. He has to block from here. He has to block from here. Where what he's doing is he's hoping he's already blocked that there. So if he builds an LLT here, then have units on the other side, he's mostly covered in here. And it should be somewhat safe, but losing out on metal extractors, which is kind of important. We can see here that Chrono is denying these bottom corner metal extractors as well so far. Oh, that grunt almost gets it. This metal extractor has 0 health. I don't think I've ever seen it so close to death, which it is just, yeah. Literally gets breathed on and it's dead. Chrono getting his forces kind of boxed in here now. Ooh, going for a self-destruct. Changes his mind. Now going for the self-destruct. Realizing he's boxed in. He's trying to deny the metal. Well played. Denies a good 5-6 grunts worth of metal there. Not only that, but obviously the ability to send them back at him if they get resurrected. Very well played. And that con that was defending Chrono's commander has been expanded leftwards here to catch the corner metal extractors while the commander continues to move forward, which is a good way of dividing your build power up here. LLTs and armed mechs in the center will make it pretty hard for these grunts to get in. After seeing so many 1v1 games, I always have problems when going into like team games myself. Because like we're now 7 minutes in and both players are still pumping out grunts heavily. So I always overbuild grunts. I don't know if anyone else does that the same as me. Please reassure me that it's not just me that does that. The habit I've got into and I'm trying to get out of it, but it's just like they're still pumping out grunts. It's an only grunts map. Oh, this is a bit of a big force here for Chrono to stop right now. There's only 2 grunts left to defend, and that's construction bot is toast. Being this close to the factory should mean he can get reinforcements built in time. It would help if he sent them in together rather than in a mishmash all separately, and half of them didn't even go to where they were needed. Oh dear. Some pull micro from Chrono there for a second. Split his units way too far apart. Losing quite a few metal extractors in the process. Now starting to lose some energy. GLaDOS dipping and diving throughout the base. Trying to just get as much as he can. Finally getting eaten by a con turret. But still, that's quite a lot of metal extractors to lose. He lost, what, 3 metal extractors plus, you know, 1 up here that had just started to get built. He lost the con, lost some units as well, and the radar, which the biggest thing actually is probably the radar right now. He's only just starting to see these units here. Chrono is actually up here, built a vehicle lab here, and is preparing an attack from a different flank. That could be quite impactful, as GLaDOS is not expecting vehicles at all. Unmat Extractor trying to do something, does manage to take out 3 grunts before it goes down, but with enough grunts now, finally being able to defend, he should be okay. But look at the train of grunts making their way across. Finally switching out to some thugs. But Chrono definitely now on the back foot. He was doing relatively well, but after having to self-destruct those grunts, it's kind of been all kind of downhill. LLT is being forced now in main base in order to try and survive, but these grunts can just move around you know, find this equal hole right here where there's no defenses. Ooh, those two cons we saw right at the beginning. That's a relatively bad radar placement. That should have been built up here. Could have literally built that with the range he had. Just move to the side, build it. These are the two cons that we saw go up here. Go up here, round like this. So they've been pretty productive. Now all the way on the opposite side of the map, Resbot's also here, eating up all of that metal. And I have only just realized, guys, I do apologize. We don't have the cameras on. My bad. 10 minutes in and only just noticing. These vehicles are causing some problems for GLaDOS. I would say pushing into heavily defended, but I don't know if I can class a armed man extractor and a single LLT as heavily defended. But it's finally freeing up a bit of this middle area. Now vehicles obviously can't really push down a lot of these hills, so he is somewhat limited, but some pounders in the mix here, but the pounders are a bit too far back. Some bad grouping up of units here. And GLaDOS starting to fall behind on army value. It does seem that's because he has partially transitioned to air. We got some bombers in the mix making their way across. Aircraft has been spotted. Will be the notification Chrono will have just received. AA's only just starting to be built, so those bombs are gonna hit. Big chunk of wind gone. Oh, they're moving to the corner. Very well played. What was supposed to be safe winds, no longer safe. And now actually just sliding around and getting metal extractors. Poorly getting metal extractors as it's still alive. Got that one though. Not as impactful as a bombing run as I would have expected, I'll be honest. Didn't get any build power. Didn't really get much of anything. As we can see from the chrono cam, his energy production is still okay. Oh, but big mistake here is a huge amount of grunts have managed to make it around the back. At the same time, on the opposite side of the map, you can see from the cameras that Chrono has gone heavy in with all of his forces. He's even stopped producing from his main, trying to get these LLTs up. Self-destructive, an LLT would have done wonders here, or a build turret. But most of these guys get mopped up. And as we switch over to the push from Chrono, Shurikens on their way out now as well to try and stop this push. LLTs being put down as well. Chrono just making a big march towards the base of GLaDOS. Tanks, grunts, crashes, the anti-air, everything being thrown at. Chrono's commander just marching forward as well. These tanks getting around the back, doing damage to the economy. Chrono with no power at all now. Remembering that means he cannot degun. He is not rebuilding any energy either. And oh man, he just needed power right now. Pounders arrive. Chrono dipping, dodging, ducking away from the shots of the thugs, but they're just coming from so many different angles. You can't cloak, you can't degun. There's nothing you can do.
Destroyed.
And Chrono's commander goes pop, and that is a win for GLaDOS. Wow, very well played. Chrono decided to go all in. I don't know if that was the right call, but he would have been a long way behind losing so much from the bombers. I mean, he wasn't that big of an impact from the bombers, but still enough. Maybe that push without the commander there, or using the commander rather to eat everything. Maybe that would have been the better call, but nevertheless, well played both players. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all that YouTube malarkey, and I'll see you all next time.